The world of Arknights Endfield is vast and immense, whether it be the large industrial structures and green fields of Valley 4, or the damp jungles and cityscapes of Wuling. Each region so far is a feast to the eyes and extremely fun to explore or fight in. But they're not big at all. Like, the actual playable spaces in Enfield are compact and sometimes even small, with set paths to take to go from one hotspot to the other, without much room for detours. Grind stages are also set in place, and overall, once you've explored a place thoroughly, there's little reason to go back to it. This, in my opinion, can contrast a bit with the overall setting and vibe of the game and story. A lot of the things we do in Arknights Endfield are about exploring new frontiers, connecting civilizations, making the moon of Talos to our own, industrialization and expanding horizons. This overall vibe, alongside the aesthetics and long sweeping pieces of music, would make you think this game is a vast open world with tons to explore, like some other games I talk about on this channel like Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves, who both use their open worlds to sell the vastness of their fictional settings and convey a sense of grand scale. But instead, Arknights Endfield goes for a semi-open world layout, not allowing us to explore every nook and cranny, but giving us a very compact and kinda deliberate experience instead. I think this actually works in the game's favor compared to what it would be like if it was a complete open world. One of the things that makes Enfield's semi-open world feel much bigger than it is the denseness. Take a look at places like Wuling City, the dorms in the hub, and the mining camp at Origin Lodespring. One of the best things about these places is the sheer amounts of NPCs we see walking around and going about their own day. At almost every spot there's dozens of NPCs to be found with unique looks and somewhat unique animations and things they go about. This really helps make the smaller maps feel huge and alive. We know the buildings we can't go into have people living and working in them, and it adds to the scale of the world. That denseness also works in favor of collectibles and props and such that we find whilst going from one location to the other. When out and about searching for new plants to collect, they're everywhere, in the wild and at short distances because of the smaller play space. This not only makes collectible hunting easier, but it also makes it more fun by not having us needing to use the teleport or zipline all the time. You can quite easily just walk everywhere and have a pretty great time picking flowers or mushrooms. Because the actual playable space is so small, it gives the developers a lot of headroom when it comes to designing the backgrounds. You know, the bits we actually don't get to explore. Especially Wuling. It's huge. The towering mountains, the forest and the giant walls stretching over the horizon really help sell the scale of this world, despite not actually being able to go to them. To me, these things help convey the feeling of a huge world a lot better than an actual open world. We are just a tiny speck on this huge moon of Talos too, not being able to go anywhere we want and seeing people live in the places we do see help form this image. Enjoying the video so far? Consider doing all of the silly YouTube things like leaving a like, your thoughts on Arknights Enfield's semi-open world design, and subscribing if you haven't yet. And if you really like what I'm doing, consider becoming a member for as little as €2 or your regional equivalent per month to get your name featured at the end of every video. Alright, let's get back into it. Another game that I like to talk about on this channel that does these things masterfully is Hoyo vs Zenless Zone Zero. It also uses a semi-open world design, having us travel to tons of locations in and around the massive city of New Eridu, where the game is set. Just like Enfield, Zenless's world is filled with NPCs who walk around to go about their day and interact with others, making the world feel lived in and bigger than just playable characters. Zenless's skyboxes and backgrounds also masterfully convey the scale of the setting, with even the smaller maps like Port Elvis showing us the massive skyline of New Eridu in the distance. You get a proper sense of how big the city is, knowing each spot we visit is linked to it in some way or another. Arknights Endfield does this just as well in some aspects, and sometimes even better, by allowing seamless transition between the maps of a region, where even though they are technically separate maps, they integrate into one greater whole without a loading screen in sight. The design of Enfield's semi-open world also helps enhance the factory building gameplay, as it helps guide the player into where to build what facility to support your factories, and makes linking said facilities a bit of a smaller hassle. On the one hand, it hampers the creativity a bit, but the main focus of the factory gameplay is the main buildings themselves, not connecting the mining stations or things like that. Because of the smaller play space, the factory side of Enfield is a lot more streamlined. Like, can you imagine having to link up power lines in a huge flat field stretching a kilometer or 5? I would probably have an aneurysm. All in all, Arknights Endfield's semi-open world is one of my favorites to explore. Due to it not being too big, it can compress the experience into dense maps filled with lively NPCs, enough things to gather and explore, and gives the artists enough freedom to create captivating backgrounds, making the world feel huge, lived in, and proper. Which probably wouldn't have worked as well if it was a true open world. I do wish we could swim though, just to stop my tongue from drowning. But what are your thoughts on Arknights Endfield's semi-open world? And what do you hope from future maps and expansions, or even a new region? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing or even joining the channel, as I post regular deep dives and reviews into the games that I love.